Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Going for Two with Jack Taylor. My name is Jack Taylor.
My name's Hunter, too.
And this is actually our first unscripted episode of all time. So I debated on whether or not to tell you all that. I'm sure you'd figure it out almost immediately. But we're just going to try to wing it. We have a late episode because I don't really know why. We just... Hunter's in town.
Our setup is a little bit different. Recording with a different microphone. We're using Jack's stuff. I feel very uncomfortable with all this, but you know what? We're going to make it work.
Yeah, we've been really busy playing video games until like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
so
you know.
We just hadn't had time to record.
We're just real workers out here.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Hunter is in Starkville for the first time for a baseball series since he graduated. So
feeling good. Yeah, thought I was going to have a triumphant return, but we'll get more into that later.
Yeah. So before we start this episode, I know like we've talked about it's going to be a little uncomfortable, but what kind of makes me uncomfortable is some of the choices that we have for emojis these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why the buddy pregnant? Why is there a pregnant man option these days?
Maybe it's just a woman with short hair.
It could be. I mean, that's always an option. Why the buddy pregnant? I just
Lamar Jackson, 2022.
I just don't understand. What are some other ones that are recent?
So there's one, and it's a face just like it's two eyes, and he's like peeking through a broken wall. On mine. That's just
the outline of an emoji. At what stage of life is that applicable?
Like
when you're staring through a piece of saran wrap?
Like I don't get that one. There's a lot of animals that I don't know whenever anyone would use.
There are 7 different options for hand over the mouth. Some different options for crying or sweating or being nervous or just having a blue
Ooh, there's
head.
an Italian one.
The spicy meatball?
Spicy meatball emoji.
Okay. I gotta find one more that's just...
Dude, what is this hole?
I don't know. Why? Okay, also, going over to the animal side of things, there's 2 options for whales. One of them is a realistic, like, I don't know what kind of whale it is. I'm not big up on my whales.
Is it a basking? No, that's not a whale. Sperm whale?
Maybe a sperm whale?
I think that's what it is.
So, but there's a realistic one that, like, I mean, I could look at it and be like, that's a whale. And the other one is, like, a sorority girl cartoon kind of thing. Like
it's...
I just ran home.
Whale.
Here's a whale. Did not say that sorority girls look like whales. I just, like... That,
yeah, that's just a very...
That's what they would post.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what sorority would post.
We may put that in the caption today.
Whale?
When we get the Instagram out.
Oh, yeah.
I think that'd be a good time. Yeah, there's just a lot of emojis nowadays. And like they keep on adding. I'm starting to realize that there's not a pepper shaker, but there is a salt shaker.
I mean, that should tell you all you need to know about the current state of America.
Yeah, this is America.
There's also, like, I don't know who felt discriminated against, but there's a prosthetic leg and a prosthetic arm.
There's 15 buses, basically.
There's just any sort of public transportation, you got it.
The slide, my favorite form of public transportation.
There's a couple mopeds, different types of wheelchairs, crutches, scooters. I mean,
there's a boomerang now.
Yeah, I mean, this is getting absurd. But why the buddy pregnant?
There's a black belt. Why? What about all the other belts? These questions.
You got to get good at karate before you can use.
Yeah, I do karate, Sin's black belt, and someone's just like, "You're not a black belt."
This is stolen valor.
I'm gonna start stealing valor, but for
martial arts.
Okay, well, that was a good little start, I think.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So what games have we played since the last time we talked to these people?
Yeah, we played a series in Arkansas. Then we played UT Martin, and we're recording this before the Saturday game. It's Saturday morning right now, and we're recording. So we played the Friday night LSU game.
Yeah. Okay. So the Arkansas series, I only watched Sunday, which should show some correlation to when we won.
Mm-hmm, yes.
So I didn't watch Friday or Saturday, and the scores to those, we lost 8-1 on Friday and 12-5 on Saturday. And both of those, I'm pretty sure they can be chalked up to just really bad starting appearances by Preston and Parker.
Friday game was gross.
Yeah, just a lot of walks and a big inning. I think in the second inning of Friday from Arkansas.
Jalen battles like 2 or 3 runs or something.
And then on Saturday, I think there was another big inning early on in the game. We actually were able to fight and put some runs on the board on Saturday. I think Luke Hancock had a home run. I think that was the only home run that day. But anyway, so moving on to Sunday, just because, there's not much to talk about, just bad pitching, which,
Arkansas.
Usually, last week we talked about the bullpen, like we had to win the battle of the bullpens. And, overall, our bullpen was pretty good that weekend, but our starting pitching was just really bad.
Didn't get a good start.
Yeah. Cade Smith, he has a really good start on Sunday. We get the win 5-3 in 12 innings, but the real story of that one was Jackson Fristow coming in with the bases loaded and I think either no outs or 1 out in the ninth, and he strikes out. I think it was 1 out, so he strikes out 2 guys, gets us to the extra innings, and then we just
Dogs win again.
Yeah, he goes what is that, 3 1/3? 3 2/3, something like that.
I guess we have a laptop that can show us any amount of information that we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 2/3.
3 2/3, yeah. Just a really, really big performance from Jackson Fristow, who, when he came out with the bases loaded in the ninth, I was like, well, that's it for that.
Danger.
So that's a sweep. But no, we were able to battle, and we got some hits in the 12th inning. We were able to win that game 5-3. Really good start from Cade Smith, like I said, but it was kind of overshadowed by Fristow's save and win there. But Cade Smith, he goes 5 innings and then takes a chopper off the head and has to get some stitches above his eye. Turns out he was good, and he was going to come out after that inning anyway, just by pitch count wise. But man, really, I'm still so impressed with Cade every time I see him.
Yeah.
Wish that he could bump up to the Saturday spot, but you like to have a competitive guy on Sunday in case of a rubber match. So really, really good stuff there. And we were actually able to see Preston battle back from a bad start in the LSU game, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Offensively in this series, not much to show for in the first game. I don't even know how we scored in that game. But in game 2, we had the home run from Luke Hancock. Let's see what else we had here.
This is game 3, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we can just move on to game 3. It's really the only one that I watched. So we had solo shots were responsible for the first 4 runs of the game for both teams. So we had a home run from Luke Hancock in the first inning. First 5 runs? Really? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Luke Hancock had one, then R.J. Yeager had one in the third. Arkansas hit the next 2, so tied it up at 2. And then in the 6th inning, Logan Tanner hit one, so we were up 3-2. And then they finally broke the trend. Arkansas scores on a sac fly, and so it's tied at 3. And then we didn't score any more runs until the 12th inning. So there was a really weird play where Brad Cumbus Lane Forsythe hit a ball to center field, and it looked like the guy made a diving catch, and Brad went back to first, but then turns out he didn't catch it, so they threw to second, which would be an out. But since the umpire signaled an out, Brad did the right thing, went back to first. So both guys ended up being safe, and Dave Van Horn was hot. But it's just a tricky situation. Umpire should just let it play out and then make a call afterwards. But
I like it if it's going our way.
Yeah, SEC officials, known for making the right call the first time.
Every time they're right. Just have to agree with them.
Yeah. So, but like I said, we win that game 5-3. We were able to salvage a win on the road, which is our first win in
first one against Arkansas
in a very long time.
2018, 17.
2018, yeah.
2018.
I think it's our first win in Fayetteville since 2017.
That's wild.
Or 2016 maybe. I don't know. Anyway, really fun last game there. It was really fun to see us kind of just have some sort of fight in us at the end, and Fristow having a good appearance was really good to see. But now we're moving on to the UT Martin game, which is the midweek. We tied a school record with 6 home runs in that game, and probably could have had more, but we started subbing players, and then a 10-run rule was in effect. So, what was the final score? 13-2 in this game? Okay. So who all did we have home runs from? We had, let's see, we had one from Luke Hancock, which we had 2 from Luke Hancock, but 1 in the first inning, 1 in the 6th inning. We had one from Hunter Hines in the first. We had one from who did we?
Kellum.
Had one from Kellum. Had one from Tanner Leggett. Had one from Brad Cumbest. So yeah, just a lot of home runs. We could have broken that record, but like I said, game was called in the 7th inning. So pretty good midweek there. I think Brandon Smith got the start and he did his job. You know, when you're playing an opponent like that, just throw strikes. And Brandon Smith is a good pitch to contact guy. Gives up 2 runs on 2 solo shots, but like I said, that's going to happen against college baseball teams when you're just throwing strikes. But he does his job. Then we go to Mikey Tepper for 2 innings and
pretty good little outing for Mikey.
Yeah,
it 2 really innings, was. 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty electric in his first inning for sure. Got a walk and a hit there, but 4 strikeouts in 2 innings is really good for Mikey. And then Casey Hunt comes in for the 7th inning. He goes 1 inning and gets a strikeout, and that was the end of the game. So pretty good pitching performance. But once again, it was against UT Martin.
Yeah, but we've lost to worse.
We have.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotten hit by worse. I mean,
at
this point, you kind of have to take anything.
Yeah. I mean, a loss there would make our RPI even would really bad. I'm sure even beating them did something to our RPI.
Yeah.
But right now, I think we're at like an 84 RPI, which is last in the SEC. But the more SEC wins you get, obviously that's going to trickle up, and hopefully you're at top 50 by the time the season ends. So I don't really understand the RPI, but I do know that top 50 is kind of what you're shooting for in terms of making it to the NCAA tournament. But anyway, that's going to move us into the LSU series, which, like we've said, we've already seen the first game of this series. So we were recording this on a Saturday morning. We were there for the disappointing end to the game last night. But what did you see from State in this game?
Preston came out and had a great start. Just like quietly, really good. 6 innings pitch, 2 hits, 1 earned run against. Only walked 4 guys. It was a pretty good 6 innings. I think, did he allow a hit since the first or second inning or something?
2 hits. The first 2 batters of the game got hits. He had first and third, and we get a double play to get out of that inning. So he gives up no runs there and didn't give up a hit the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Did have 4 walks in the game, and just letting on the leadoff guy is our downfall, I think, especially with Preston. It seems like he'll walk the leadoff guy and then be really good. But, I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. That's not always going to work out for you. But against Alabama, he did it, and it didn't hurt him too bad. Against LSU, it really didn't hurt him. But that's something we'd like to see, just like be competitive against the leadoff guy, and maybe you don't give up even just the 1 run on the sac fly. It still hurts.
Yeah, and LSU's pitcher quietly had a very impressive performance. He went 6 innings, had 10 hits against, but only allowed 2 runs.
Yeah. Can we see how many runners we left on base?
I think that is a thing. Isn't that what LOB means or something?
Left on base.
Yeah, we left 8 runners on.
Yeah, and it that hurts to see. I mean, I think we've definitely had games with more, but we loaded the bases twice that I know of and just didn't get anything out of it. And in a game where, you get 10 hits on a starting pitcher and only score 2 runs on him, that hurts.
Yeah.
He didn't walk anybody, which is, that's the only thing that kept him in the game. Like he just threw strikes and got a lot of ground balls. Even the 2 RBI hit that Luke Hancock got was just a ground ball through the shift.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this pitcher was good at, was just throwing ground balls. And he goes 6 innings, like I said, 10 hits, but only threw 89 pitches. Like we didn't overwork him, which was really just them being able to stay in the game is obviously what's going to keep him around for the 9th inning that we're going to talk about. After Preston, we go Casey Hunt for 2 innings, and before we get into this conversation, Casey Hunt was really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
From the outings that he's had in the past, like earlier this year, they haven't been great. Even against, I think, Memphis, he had kind of a rough inning there, but he looked really impressive in his 2 innings here. But the 2nd inning, all 3 of his outs were warning track shots, like 1 to center, 1 to left, 1 to right. And so you have to imagine that, like, if he gets around to one guy that he's pitched to before, it's not going to be good.
And with LSU, I know it's the bottom of the lineup, but who was it that was up? Was it Giovanni? I think DiGiacomo had double-digit home runs last year.
Yeah.
Like it's not like your typical, like, 7, 8, 9, oh, he'll go get through them.
Yeah.
They have serious power.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean...
Yeah. I don't disagree with the move to move on from Casey Hunt there because, two solid innings could be enough to just boost your confidence and get you into the next game. Casey Hunt didn't need to blow his good performance and then have low confidence coming into his next outing, which I'm sure he will have very soon. But we go to Jackson Fristow for the ninth, and he mows down the first two guys very easily. Looks like we're just about to cruise in the ninth inning and get a series opening win against LSU, and then he walks a guy, hits a guy. There was a wild pitch that moved those guys up to second and third, and then Trey Morgan just gets a line drive single into center, and then Brooks Auger comes in. Gives up a 2-run shot there, and then a double. The guy that comes in on the double, or the guy that hit the double, did not come around to score. But we go down 5-2 after just really controlling this game the whole time, and that's just. It hurts, but I don't really know what else you would have done because I like I said, I agree with Casey Hunt. Being done after 2 innings, like I said, they were starting to kind of square him up. And Jackson Fristow, he's coming off of the best performance.
And he was 1 strike away from striking out the side.
Yeah, he's coming off the best performance of his career. Obviously, we've seen Jackson Fristow be bad in the past, but we legitimately don't have a closer. So that was our option there. Obviously, it didn't work out, but if he had gotten that 1 more strike to end the game, nobody would be questioning, why'd you take Casey Hunt out of this game?
And for the people, because that was a pretty big topic, was taking Casey Hunt out there. I'm not exactly sure when y'all started trusting Casey Hunt.
Yeah. Oh. Because if you trusted him for 2 good innings, then why didn't you trust Jackson Fristow?
They're the same.
They're literally the same.
Yeah.
I don't agree with everything Lemonis does or everything Foxhall does and everything, but this one I can't disagree with the move they made. So that one it's just on Fristow not being able to close out that at bat, I guess.
And we left runners on. It's
and that's what I was trying to get into. I do not, by any stretch of the imagination, think that this loss will be on pitchers because we had 10 hits in this game and 2 runs to show for it.
Against a bad fielding team.
Yeah. Hunter Hines had 3 strikeouts in this game, and you're not going to hear anybody say, why is Hunter Hines still in the lineup?
Yeah.
Logan Tanner struck out with the bases loaded, and I love these guys. He also hit into a double play. I love our lineup.
Lane Forsythe had the best night.
Yeah, 2 hits from Lane Forsythe. Logan Tanner also
and a run.
2 hits. Yeah,
but he had a run.
Yeah,
Lotan had 4 attempts.
Yeah, so I just wish that people could realize that our offense lost us this game.
Yeah,
it had nothing to do with pitchers.
Yeah, we played LSU for 8 innings and held them to 2, and this lineup is nuts. Yeah. Trey Morgan. He's going to be a great MLB player. Dylan Cruz, he's highly touted. Jacob Berry, I'm pretty sure he finished 3rd in Golden Spikes last year. Cade Doty, he's good. Braden Jobert, Jordan Thompson. I don't know Josh Pearson. Don't know Hayden Travinci. I've heard of Collier Cranford, and then Tyler McManus and Giovanni Giacomo. That lineup is stacked.
Yeah.
And they've been good offensively all season. I think they're batting 303 as a team now after this game. We had it right there. Probably a game that could have kind of changed the season, but
yeah. And I like to think that me and you are very optimistic Mississippi State fans, and not really optimistic, just realistic. We're able to. Before we start complaining, really, out loud, we really like to look at the whole situation.
Yes,
and so, I guess before we're vocal about. Football is different. I think I'm pretty just vocally just pessimistic.
Because when you lose one game, it's over.
Yeah, but in baseball, we're historically just a really good team. I'm usually pretty high on us. But I'm not gonna agree with everything Lemonis does. Like I said,
we questioned him a lot last year.
Yeah.
And then every time it would prove us wrong. Yeah. And it was kind of impressive.
Yeah. But man, it was not a fun end to that game. But just seeing us, not get blown out by LSU.
LSU's a good team, and I think we'll go out there today and compete. I mean, look at this. Like, Jacob Berry's batting .372. Yeah. Cade Doughty batting .353. Dylan Cruz .345. Trey Morgan .336. Braden Jobert .311. Jordan Thompson .308. Gavin Dugas .299.
We have one guy, and I don't even know if he's still batting over 300, but Cam James is the only player on our team going into yesterday that was batting over 300, and we out-hit them by a lot.
Yeah.
Their bullpen shut us down, but so did their starter, pretty much. So this was really just on the offense, and like we said, the offense is going to have to win us games because our bullpen and our starters are not always going to be good, but when they are, you have to win. And they were great yesterday, and we just couldn't do it. Well, I say great. Terrible ninth inning, but like I said, one pitch away. And anyway, so that's all that we have, I guess, for the Friday night game. Going into Saturday, like you said, I think just being able to compete, taking advantage of every opportunity that we get. I think we had guys on in most innings last night, except for, the ninth. We didn't. But I don't remember just many 3-up, 3-down innings. But, man, it's still going to be fun. Just go out there and watch us. Me and you got some pretty good seats for today, huh?
Yeah. See us on ESPN later.
Yeah. By the time people listen to this, they'll have already seen us on ESPN.
Yeah, they'll be sending us in pictures. I doubt it. But yeah, I guess we can kind of talk about LSU a little bit.
Okay.
So their middle infield, Cade Doughty and Jordan Thompson, combined they have 19 errors on the season. Jordan Thompson's fielding 878.
It's just not good. Like 1 out of every 10 balls that gets hit to him is an error. So
yeah, Cade Doughty 916.
That means 916 out of every 1,000 balls that are hit to him will be fielded cleanly. Which, when you put it that way, not that bad, huh?
And like, it would seem easy because you have Trey Morgan as your first baseman. He may be the most athletic first baseman I've ever seen.
Yeah, like he's not able to make up for this crappy middle infield. And we saw it last night. Like, they are a shift-heavy team. Like, when we get a guy on first base, like when we're pitching and the other team gets a guy on first base, we usually kind of revert back and like maybe do a small shift. We usually kind of set up pretty standard. They're wild with their shifts, and it bites them in the butt sometimes.
Yeah.
Like they have their shortstop and second baseman out of position, and I'm sure that does contribute to a lot of their errors, and we saw that last night. But you get free bases on. They didn't walk anybody last night, I don't think. But you get free bases on errors, and you load the bases on hits. You have to score.
Even stuff that they didn't count as errors, like
yeah, like last night. Officially, they didn't even have any errors. They were all considered infield hits. We actually had 2 errors, and they had 0. But
like just slow getting out of the glove of the shortstop, and it's just like, that's not an error. I was like, dude,
yeah, but
Christmas would have beat that one out. But they're a weird team. They bat extremely well. Their bullpen's really good. Just a bunch of guys in it. They field horribly, but they have star power. It's a really, really weird team. If they get hot, I don't know what's gonna happen.
It's another one of those like situations like last year. Like, I'm glad we're playing them early in the season because I know
this team is gonna go to a super regional.
Yeah, I know it's a different coach, but it's the same identity on this team. Like, they might struggle early, but it's still LSU baseball. And in the back of my mind, like, I think we're good enough to win this series, but not when you give them games. And in the back of my mind, I still think, it's LSU. We're probably not going to win this series.
Yeah.
Even though it's at home and it's going to hurt to lose a series.
How long has it been since the
2002?
2002. We've won a series in Starkville.
Yeah. So
we never win a series like this.
No.
Wait, I accidentally used it like realistically.
Mm-hmm.
We never lose series like this.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, now we're going to win. Win confirmed.
Win confirmed.
But all right, what do we have? The rest of this?
We're gonna see Blake Money tonight. Today, I guess. And then I'm not exactly sure who their Thursday starter is, but I mean we go out there and get good starts. Can't leave guys on bases when we get them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's really going to be everything. I mean we had every chance to make this game not competitive.
Yeah.
And we went out there and didn't do it.
So, I mean, you look at our matchups, and I know we talked about this last week, and it didn't pan out this way with Arkansas, but that was against the number 2 team in the country. It's Arkansas. Right now, we can look and say that they probably have a bullpen advantage on us. LSU does. I mean, it's almost certainly. Both of our lineups are really, really good, but theirs are more consistent.
Yeah, theirs are insane.
Yeah. So, really, where we have to make up for it is starting pitching and being able to take advantage when their bad fielding bites them in the butt.
Yeah.
Like, we have to be able to take advantage of that, and so far we haven't been able to. So this series could go. I mean, we could win the next 2. We're very, very capable of that. We're good enough to do it, but
we could also get swept.
Yeah, and so I mean it. I hate being a middle of the road baseball team. I liked being the best in the SEC.
Yeah.
Or among the top 3. But anyway.
You know who is the best in the SEC?
Missouri.
Nope. Tennessee.
Hey, Missouri had a lead on Tennessee yesterday. Something Ole Miss never had.
Sounds like a first to me. Yeah. Starting SEC play 10-0, correct?
Mm-hmm. For reference, we're 4-6.
They're about to be 11-0 today, and then 12-0 the next day.
Mm-hmm.
That is nuts.
The next day would be tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. But they're insane, and they just got their best pitcher back from last year.
Yeah.
Jeez. And then the Arkansas fans are like, wow, this team is just peaking too early. It's like Vanderbilt last year.
Yeah, and I know last year we said, and we actually predicted this perfectly, that Tennessee was not built for Omaha because all they did is hit home runs, and they got to Omaha and couldn't hit home runs, and they were 2-out there. Now they have, first of all, leaders on their team, veterans on their team that have played in Omaha before, which is something they've never had before. And then I watched them play against Ole Miss, and they don't just hit home runs. Mm-hmm. They definitely do hit a crap ton of them, but they just spray the ball all over the field.
And
they have the best
great.
starting pitching. Stupid good bullpen.
They have 3 starting pitchers without that guy returning from last year that were Golden Spike's watch list guys. There's like 30 guys that are on that watch list, and they have 3 of them from their starting pitching.
Yeah, they're scary.
They're good.
Yeah, and we get to host them right here in Starkville the last weekend of the season.
Sure, that'll be a good time.
Honestly, I didn't expect this to be the highlight of the year, but here in a couple weeks, the World Series trophy is going to be in Starkville. So I guess that's something I have to look forward to this baseball season. But anyway, is that all you got for the
I think
LSU
so.
series?
I mean, we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Do we have a midweek coming up?
UAB.
They have a UAB. Okay.
The Fighting Jess Davises.
Fighting Jess Davis. It's his revenge tour, or their revenge tour. They're trying to get revenge on Jess Davis for abandoning them in a time of need. Right?
You think they're making up for... Never mind.
Stop. So, now we play them April 12th. That's a Tuesday, next Tuesday in Starkville. So, hopefully we just get another blowout midweek win and don't tank our RPI. So, that's all we've got for games coming up. And we're going to end this short little episode with some Instagram questions.
Short little episode. We're at 30 minutes right now. We're really good at this. We're just some good podcasts.
30 a lot.
30 is way too much. I mean, never mind. Okay, let's go.
All right, so we got 4 questions here. One from Courtney.
That's
Purvis.
A lot of questions.
I'd say that's a lot. Okay, so Courtney Purvis says, when are the fiancés going to be on an episode?
Actually, big announcement. April 31st. They're getting their own episode.
Mark it on your calendars.
Mark it on your calendars, everyone. Really ready for this. We've been waiting for this for a while now. We were just waiting for Jack to pop the question and everything. Mm-hmm. So we got to get this one in before I get married and it's no longer the fiancés episode. Because if we do that, we'll have to wait until like October or something.
Yeah, and it have to be the
going for 2 wives.
The ex-fiancé episode. What if
we're gonna have our ex-girlfriends on?
That's what we need to call it, the ex-girlfriend episode. Yeah, April 31st. Mark it on your calendar, and we're really, really excited for that episode.
Yeah. Yeah, should be a good time. Y'all can start sending y'all's questions for that one.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll like a questions part. But yeah,
I think their one of their roles on that show will be ranking SEC quarterbacks, ranking every single SEC baseball player by hotness,
ranking every single SEC football player, ranking every single Division I athlete.
Except for cross country.
Yeah.
And track. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of, Megan asks, are Ultras the new shoe of the NCAA?
Probably.
I'm sure
I think it's Big Baller Brand.
I thought Ultras were, I thought that was a beer.
Michelob.
Michelob Ultras. Baseball water. Excuse me.
Baseball water.
No free ads. So Megan also asked, wait, what's the dealio with LSU basketball? Everybody transferred.
Yeah, they have no players. And
Shaquille O'Neal's son said bye.
How did
So Will Wade is getting investigated by the FBI for recruiting violations?
Yeah, major. I think there may be a lot of SEC fan bases want a death penalty. Not on him, but on the team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on
they just don't have a basketball program?
It would be taking away scholarships for like 2 or 3 years, I think.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's what happened.
And that was a team that was a 6th seed in the
They were playing in March Madness while their coach was getting fired. Mm-hmm. And then they went and hired
This has been going on for like 3 years.
So. And then they went and hired a good coach.
Mm-hmm. But he doesn't have players. So, all right. So
bringing John Morant back.
Last question has aged somewhat poorly. Brooks Taylor asks, Fristo to closer? Seems solid.
Probably.
Yeah, we really don't have anybody else. And he was 1 strike away from...
and we're the biggest Fristo fans, as always.
Yeah. Still love Fristo. I can see past the... I mean, I went in there thinking he was going to get a leadoff walk. So he just got the 2 outs and then give up a leadoff walk.
Yeah, I mean, it's just changing eye level there.
Mm-hmm. So, I think Fristo is probably our best option as a closer. Obviously, it would be ideal if it was Landon Sims. And then when he became a starter, it would have been ideal for it to be Stolen Simmons. And then it would be ideal for it to be maybe Craig Kimbrell.
Why did Pico not come in?
I don't know. I don't know. He's the guy, yo. But I guess that's going to do it for this episode. Huh?
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah, well, it has been fun. No script has actually kind of worked out because we know y'all probably don't really care about our lackluster reviews or previews of teams that include their starting pitchers and their good hitters.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we got for you, and we really enjoyed making this episode. We enjoyed being back in person, and it actually seemed a little bit better than our last in-person episode.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, all right, that's going to do it for today.
We're good. We don't need those.
Okay. All right, that's going to do it for today, and we will see you back next time going for 2 with Jack Taylor. Why the buddy pregnant?
Dude, this light is really bright.
It is stupid bright. Why the buddy bright?
That was a pretty good little episode. Do you think anyone listens to the end anymore?
I think my mom might.
I cannot wait.
Definitely not my fiance.
I cannot wait until April 31st, dude.
Dude, that's going to be so much fun.
Are
we going to be here too, or are we just going to let them go?
No, we're just going to let them go with it.
Okay.
They have to do all the production and everything.
This thing is never going to see the light of day.
April 31st. Mark your calendars.